Yes! Thank God you answered. I really thought you wouldn't answer this. I thought you might ignore because my number is still not on your register. If you don't recognize me, we're actually classmates. We're on the same Korean class. You're wondering how I got your number? Well, we had this exercise where we shared our numbers in Korean. I initially thought the number you said was sort of a dummy, but here you are. Yeah, so how are you doing? Great. Yeah, me too. I'm doing fine. And the reason why I called is because, Topic is not happening this October, and so we can loosen up a bit. And I just thought maybe we could study Korean differently. So nowadays I'm actually watching this show called 청춘기록 or Record of Youth on Netflix, and there are quite a number of interesting phrases that I've seen even from the very first episode, and I'm calling you because I just wanted to share some of those phrases or expressions with you, and who knows, we might as well get to learn some new things from it. What do you think? You think it's a good idea? Okay, so I can share my notes with you, like I can show them to you right now on this side of the video, but yeah, you might as well want to take down notes, so maybe you can get your own pen and paper, or you can type on your computer if that's your style. Okay, are you ready? Alright, I'm also ready, but let me look into my notes. Okay, so I'm looking at my notes now. So these I listed down a lot of expressions, but I just wanted to share about 10 expressions with you. This phone call is limited, video call is limited because I don't have, my phone credit is not unlimited. So we have to rush. We have to do this in maybe 10 minutes. Okay, so the first phrase that I would want to introduce to you is order 받은 대로 해야 돼요. order 받은 대로 해야 돼요. So in English, it's translated on Netflix as I must follow my orders. I picked this expression because it's very interesting. It's very interesting how they use the English word order in this phrase. order 받은 대로 해야 돼요. So 받은 대로, according to the thing that you receive, order 받은 대로, according to the order that you receive, 해야 돼요, you must do. So I must follow my orders. This is quite interesting, and I just realized that they're actually using the British sound here, order. In American it's order, but in British it sounds more like order. So maybe that's why in the Korean form it's order 받은 대로 해야 돼요. Cool, right? Okay, there's another thing that I listed down here is 막느라 최선을 다했습니다. 막느라 최선을 다했습니다. This one is translated in English as I tried my best to stop her. 막느라 최선을 다했습니다. I like this expression because it contains the phrase 최선을 다했습니다. 최선을 다했습니다, which means I will do my best. To the best of my abilities, I will do. This is something you can use in interviews, like if you're asked something like what will you do to achieve your dreams? 최선을 다했습니다. But this one 다했습니다 is past tense actually, so you might want to say 최선을 다하겠습니다. So you'll do your best. And in this situation, there's the word 막느라. So 느라 is like you're expressing an action that you did and therefore it resulted to this, or while you're doing this is something that happened or you did along with it. So here 막느라 최선을 다했습니다. So the 최선을 다했습니다 is modifying or describing 막느라. So stopping somebody. So you did your best trying to stop somebody. So here I tried my best trying to stop her. Cool. Okay, another one is 사기치는 놈이 뭔지지 당하는 사람이 문제야. 사기치는 놈이 뭔지지 당하는 사람이 문제야. So in English it says the con artists are the problems, not the victims. I picked this because it's very interesting. I mean, this is something that we hear of quite a lot, and it's together with this line. 그런 시각이 사기꾼들한테 연죄부를 주는 거야. That kind of perspective gives an excuse to the con artist. And so this is actually a 3-line combination. 그게 2차 가해라는 거야. And that's called victim blaming. So it's very interesting. I mean, I watched this drama and I didn't expect that I would get to learn what victim blaming is in Korean. Victim blaming 2차 가해라. 2차 가해. So it's quite interesting, right? I mean, the culture of victim blaming is becoming so popularized, and the term is becoming so popular. And yeah, I think it's fun that we get to know how it is said in Korean. So cool. And then this one is, I still haven't completely understand. I still have to do a research in it, or maybe you can also try to research on it. But I'll put the notes here. 아유, 어디서 약을 팔아? 아유, 어디서 약을 팔아? So, as if. It's translated as if. But literally, this is, where do they sell the medicine? So, I don't know what's that supposed to mean. And then we have 어유, 이제 가뿐하다. What a load off my chest this is. 아유, 어유, 이제 가뿐하다. What a load off my chest this is. Okay, this is not an expression that I would normally use. I mean, even the English translation is not something I would say. Probably I just say, what a relief, which in Korean is 다행이다. But I guess there's this sort of nuance in this, and there's a different kind of feeling. That's why they use 가뿐하다. And what a load off my chest this is. I don't know how exactly that feels, because for me, it could go as simple as what a relief or 다행이다. But yeah, I think it's, how we articulate our words that affects the way we think, the way we feel. So it's interesting when we can say these words. And then there is 인간은 자기 이익이 제일 우선이더라고요. 인간은 자기 이익이 제일 우선이더라고요. So there's this saying that people only look out for themselves. I don't know if you believe this, but I just listed this down because it's interesting. I think a lot of Korean shows are really, giving us these kinds of interesting words of wisdom, or like proverbs, So it's interesting. 인간은 자기 이익이 제일 우선이더라고요. This one is like, I know all the vocabulary words. 인간, 자기, 이익, 제일 우선. So the words are things that we know. So it's not a new vocabulary really, but it's a very interesting expression. I thought I might as well share with you. And lastly, this is the last one. 나이 들면 친구도 바뀐다고 사는 형편 따라. 나이 들면 친구도 바뀐다고 사는 형편 따라. So when you get old, your friends change depending on how much money you have, or depending on your, financial situation. Another word of wisdom, I think. It's up to you. Do you believe that? But yeah, it's just kind of cool. I'm putting my notes here, like what they mean, and so those are the 10 phrases that I wanted to share with you after watching the first episode of Record of Youth. What do you think? Did you like it? There's not really a lot that I know. I think I need to study a bit more before sharing things like this, because 10 minutes is a lot of time, but it's also very short. So depending on how I do it. But yeah, so if you like this, I will call you again next week. Otherwise, I'll go looking for another person, another classmate. I've listed down all their numbers, when we did that exercise. For me, it's an exercise to listen in Korean and write down the actual numbers. So yeah, I don't have time anymore. I'll see you next week.